literally neon pink. But I wonder, can I paint a movie scene using just these 3 colours? I got this request to paint Romeo and Juliet. I've not watched the film. You've caught me at the end of my Pirates of the Caribbean marathon. I'm actually peeling off this tearaway palette because we need a nice, clean, non-contaminated surface to paint this. This is the movie scene that we're painting today. Since I've already somehow painted Leonardo DiCaprio twice, I felt like 3 times in 1 year would be a little bit extreme. And this is a up-close portrait. It's the scene where Juliet and Romeo first meet with a fish tank in the middle. So we need water, some paintbrushes, the paper, obviously. And these are the 3 colors we're using. First up is Opera. This is a pink I don't have any experience with. We've got a lemon yellow, a classic, and a Prussian blue by Shinhan, Winsor & Newton, and Holbein. And I'm excited. We need to grab some tape. Feeling a little bit nervous since we ran out of tape in the last episode. There might be enough on this one. If it doesn't do that, okay, I don't think there's enough now. I think we need to get another one. Why does this keep happening? Well, let's save it. Let's pop it in the daily doodle diary just for fun. I don't know what's going to go around it, but that's the joys of this challenge. I'm drawing every day, sticking all sorts of rubbish in, and it's kind of like a memory book. The whole challenge is up in a playlist on my channel if you haven't checked it out. There's 14 months in there. And I think this tape is gonna work. It's kind of grass, which doesn't really match the theme, but I needed to pick one where I knew that there would be enough because we can't run out of tape for a second time. I guess some of these are quite small and we do need quite a lot to fill the entire page. So we are ready. What's the plan of action? Let's pop down each of these colors. I had no clue how much paint I would actually need because I don't tend to use watercolor in this way. Spoiler alert, it wasn't enough. I'm wetting the page first so that we can create some nice blends and tone the page so it's less scary. This is something I pretty much do every time now just to make it a little bit easier. And to be honest, I'm really surprised at how much paint actually got used. I don't use watercolor straight from the tube because I am tight with money and you end up using far more. This is the exact reason why I use it from the pan. I buy it in a tube and then I put it in a nice little palette and I reactivate it. Saying that, the colors were probably a little bit brighter because I did this. But I use bright colors, so I don't actually know. Something that I've been doing a lot lately, which you can see, is adding in those shadows first. The background is kind of brown, but I'm opting for a little bit more orange. The fish are blue, there's blue shadows in the face, and I don't know what happened here. I guess it kind of blended. There was a little bit of a mess. So, 1 layer down, and there's a lot of layers to go. This movie scene is fast paced. I don't even know how many layers I ended up adding. There are a lot. And this is very much a trust the process piece, which I'm not gonna lie, looking at it right now, that is hard to do. And it was hard at the time. I'm just hoping that by the time we add the pink in, we will end up with some form of a skin tone. At the moment, we've only used blue and yellow, and in theory, the 3 colors together should make brown because they're kind of primaries. But when I tell you, I actually haven't swatched them. This is a challenge. I wanted to treat it like a challenge. I wanted to go into this having no clue what would happen. So I don't know what color the 3 colors are gonna make. I didn't know what the yellow and pink would look like mixed together. I love this orange shade, but I've not made a single swatch. So we're in this challenge together. I was kind of hoping that the fish would end up looking a little bit blurry, but that didn't happen. So we're taking an artistic approach with this one. It's not super accurate. It's quite stylized. And honestly, like, I can't wait to show you the end result because it's my new favorite. But at the same time, the entire process this is crazy. So don't skip ahead, because it's quite the process. And as you can see, I'm actually now removing that entire section. I need to remove the blue because the fish was actually supposed to be yellow. And look how easily it comes off on top of the orange. I know blue is a staining color, but the difference is crazy. And I don't think all of this blue is going to come out, so the fish is going to be a little bit green. Now for the moment of truth. We're adding pink. In theory, this should make brown, just about, because it's blue, yellow, and pink layered on top of each other. But they don't work the same as when you mix them. And not to mention, this is actually opera. This is neon pink. I've never used neon pink in a face before. And actually, I've not really used opera. So you might be wondering why I chose these colors. Well, here's what happened. I reached into my box of watercolor tubes and I noticed this pink, and I haven't really used this pink. So I picked it. And in my head, I'd already thought about the safe colours I could choose. Alizarin Crimson, perfect for portraits. A nice warm yellow, something like Gamboge, that would be lovely. And a nice safe blue, indigo, ultramarine, something that I know, something that I've used in portraits before. That was the plan. But instead we have these three chaotic colours. I'm trying my best to mix together and make a brown, and it's looking a bit muddy. But the hair is brown, so I'll take it. I love the colour opera pink, but the reason I don't use it is because I bought the tube for fun. I think it was my second birthday haul. There's quite a few up on my channel now. I'll leave the playlist below if you want to check it out. But there was one haul that I did where I had gift cards and I got a ton of watercolour paint, different tubes from different brands, because I wanted to make a light, fast watercolour palette. At that point, I had lots of student grade paints that didn't even have light fast ratings on them, so you can presume that they weren't. And I wanted to make a palette that I could use, create paintings, and actually be able to sell them. Sadly, this lovely fun pink that I got could not go in that palette. That's the palette that you see me using in every single episode of the Scene series, except for the last one where we used acrylic markers and painted the little stitch that you can see on top. Honestly, I don't know why I'm still using that palette because I don't need to. None of these paintings can be sold. They're all in a sketchbook. I think it's just because it's a palette that has all of my favorite colors together. Fun colors, unique colors, fancy colors. But sadly, the opera cannot be there because it's fugitive. So it will fade, and it probably shouldn't be used on paintings that you're planning to sell. I mean, it depends. It depends how long you want your painting to last. It's a beautiful shade. If you have it behind glass, if you're not too fussed, you can probably do like a decade and it will be okay. It is personal preference. The reason I picked lemon yellow is because I don't use this for portraits, which is a really dumb reason now that I'm saying it out loud. Like, why did I choose this color? Well, there's obviously a reason why I don't pick it, and I found that out. It's because it kind of makes the face look a bit pasty, in my opinion. It didn't mix well, and because it's kind of opaque, well, it's quite thick, the brown looks muddy. I think the lemon yellow is what makes the hair look a little bit odd, because the pink and blue together, they mix lovely, and they're purple, they're vibrant, and then you add the yellow and it just goes a bit, I want to say milky. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Like, you've got this gorgeous transparent color and then you're just kind of adding milk and it goes thick, it goes muddy. It doesn't look nice. But probably part of the reason is the blue. I chose the blue because it's a new color that I don't have much experience with and I just wanted to see. I love the blue. Probably does clash a little bit with the yellow, but I do think we needed a green leaning blue for the fish, because I doubt a fish tank is warm toned. But this is not going to plan. The face, okay? The face, it's not looking good. I wanted the bright colors underneath to show, but it's not looking like a skin tone. This is Pisces, the final character that I created inspired by a star sign, and this is what I was aiming for. Lovely bright undertones, and this person does not look like they have skin. So we need to actually mix the colors colors together, kind of create a brown, light brown, I guess, when we mix the three colors together, and try and make the skin actually look like skin. And this is when I tell you, I don't know how many layers I added to this painting. I do think half the reason that she looks odd is because there's no eyebrows, but that's a difficult step. I wanted to make sure the skin tone was perfect first, because I've added eyebrows and hair in the past and then tried to fix the skin and the eyebrow just blends into the skin. This is 100% cotton paper, but it's hot pressed, so it's really just pretending. It doesn't feel great, which is sad. It was lovely for Lilo and Stitch last time. Worked really well with the acrylic markers, and it can do light watercolor layers. Like when we painted Finding Nemo before, that was honestly about 3 layers. That was so quick. But I think with this painting, we really reached the limits of what this paper can do. And the eyebrows have just changed the game. This looks like a face. I'm not sure it looks like Claire Danes, but it looks like a face, and it looks like it's in my art style. And right now, I'm feeling so good about this painting. Although there is one weird part about this scene. These are fish around her because they're looking at each other. There's a fish tank in the way, and one of the fish just happens to be right next to her eye. Do you know how inconvenient that is? It looks so strange, and originally I thought it might have just been a light or a reflection, but no, there is a blurry fish right in front of her eye, and it looks so odd. It's also around this point that I realized we can't use colored pencils, so we're gonna have to adapt. Try and do all of the line work with just watercolor. That's gonna be tricky. But you know what? We haven't actually talked about the film. Sorry, I got sidetracked. There was so much I wanted to say about the painting, the process, the challenge, the 3 colors. Okay, the movie. I watched Romeo and Juliet for the first time, actually after painting this scene, funnily enough, and it was weird. It's the kind of movie where if I was going to watch it for a second time right now, I think it would be absolutely fine and I'd probably appreciate it more for what it is. But first time, it's a really odd film. I was supposed to watch it in high school. Like many people, I had to learn about Romeo and Juliet, and for the entire year, the teacher had been building up that we were going to watch the film at the very end. And then after an entire year of studying Romeo and Juliet, she said we didn't have time. So I think I never watched it out of spite, because I'd spent an entire year studying it. We all had, for the hope that we could finally then watch it, which had been promised, and we couldn't. And honestly, I think I would have loved the film then. I would have been up for it. But first time, it is very strange. It's set in the modern day. If you haven't heard of Romeo and Juliet before, it's Shakespeare. It's kind of tragic. It's like a love story, but I guess it's more tragic than love. And then in the film, it's set in the modern day with the 2 houses being like gangs, empires, but they talk exactly how the book was written. And it's a lot to wrap your head around the very first time you watch it, but I can see why people like the film. And I definitely watch it again. Now I know exactly what to expect. It's very odd, but I think it was good. I can see why the movie was requested. And I hope I've done it justice with this painting. I personally really like it. After 20 layers, I think, we finally got there. And I think finally I have an art style. I can actually see it. It's taken so long, but I can see it with this painting. You saw me use that tiny paintbrush to do the eyelashes. That was terrifying. That's actually how I used to do eyelashes, and it does look better. It's just so scary to do. And really, there were loads of different scenes I could have chosen, but I was trying to choose a scene that didn't have any kind of violence in it. It's quite a visual film, but I didn't want to paint anything that YouTube would have problems with. But now we're on what I thought were the last steps, adding in some of those white highlights again. I think we lost a bit with the hair. The hair's looking very flat, very dark. I like to add some to the lips, to the eyes, some eyelashes and eyebrow hair, just to bring in some lighter highlights. Unfortunately, they were far too bright, so I'm now painting over most of them. It is lighter, it's just not pure white. But now it's time. We can heat the tape and peel it off. Yeah, that wasn't quite as satisfying as I was going for, and it gets worse. The paper ripped. This has actually happened before. It's nothing to do with the tape. In this sketchbook, every 3 or 4 spreads, the way that the binding is, it just rips in the middle. I don't know how to explain it. It happens every, I want to say 4 spreads, so that is sad. There's a couple of pencil lines to rub out. I guess I forgot what the size of the border would be. I don't think the rip is too noticeable though. And I also forgot these final details, but that's it. That's finally the entire painting done using just these 3 colors. So, do you need more than 3 colors to create a painting? No, I think it can be done with just 3 colors. She turned out so much better than I thought. However, it was very difficult to mix darker shades and it is quite limiting. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you in a few days. Bye bye.